everybody!
Oh my god, Cyber's so naughty! Hi.
I sincerely hope I sincerely hope that everyone heard Kendall telling me to fuck off. That was great.
No, because I waited. I knew you were going to say something unhinged, so I waited to switch scenes until after you said it. So they didn't hear anything. It's like I know you or something.
That's a shame. And no one will ever know what I said or to whom.
Emma, what exactly was terrifying? Was it the volume of my voice? I'm trying to...
Probably just me, in fairness.
Stace heard it.
Yes!
Damn. Oh well. Stace hears Cyber shouting hello. Yes, see, it wasn't me.
There we go.
It wasn't me. I'm
Although,
still trying
to be fair, Emma's probably getting it in stereo because of how loud I shouted. She's probably heard it through the walls of the house as well.
No, okay, so I am the god of Hellfire, and this is Rivers. Rivers, hi, good to see you. But I was playing Sea of Thieves with Emma yesterday or the other day while you were streaming, and I could hear you through your walls and her.
Oh
headset.
no, what you could hear was me coming through Emma's phone. Who had the stream up.
I don't know. Whatever it was, I could... It felt a little bit like I was living in your walls, which we all know I am, so...
It's true, yes, it's true. You're living in my wall. Yeah. Also, Stace, are we live yet?
Yes.
No. What the hell are you talking about? Of course we're not live.
Also, why not my own girlfriend
all
decided to
imaginary,
live in
Stace.
some other
Nothing
man's
is
walls,
happening.
I do not know, but that is questionable at best.
Cost of living in Scotland is super cheap. I'll just say it's not. It's decidedly not. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I had to
Fries
rent
and
my
American.
sandwich for
That's
lunch
all
this
you
morning.
need to know.
Anyway.
Anyway, we're here today. Also, I just need everyone to know that I am apparently the only one who ever remembers to change the cast list to reflect who is
No
actually
shit,
present.
I remember to change it as well.
Yeah, but then...
When I did the thing.
Good for you. I'm proud of us. Look at us making progress.
Look at us. Who'd have thought?
Maybe because Cyber was pulling Shammers on stream the other night.
Was I?
If that's why I was watching, probably. We all know.
We all know confused about what's happening here. I really don't know what's going on.
Nothing.
Life is
What's
time is a weird suit.
pulling me now? What? That's,
I don't know. I think it might have been Sea of Thieves.
Well, no, it's
I think
because you
it
were
might have got
streaming
you
on
with a
Wednesday.
harpoon or some
You were
shit,
all
and then made a
streaming
joke
on Sea
about
of
pulling
Thieves
you.
on Wednesday.
So.
I was at work on Wednesday because I'm a responsible adult or something. Bleh. Anyway.
You're saying we're not responsible adults? I mean, you'd be right, but still.
I know I'm not.
I literally...
What the fuck?
You guys didn't see the way my eyebrows just raised, and I went, "Have you met yourselves?" in my brain. But now I'm also saying it out loud. Have you met yourselves?
Eyebrows raised that high, they just became another part of the hairline.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Are you excited? I'm really excited to continue our little sojourn here through Middle-earth.
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Why? Nothing
Oh,
bad.
also,
The bad things
because
are over.
No, because I can't remember shit. So I know, like, I can't even remember what fucking voice I was doing for Kaga. Like, this is going to be a very interesting situation, right? He's going to be Cockney by the end of the fucking stream. It's gonna be
It was honestly very Billy Connolly adjacent.
Well, that doesn't help me.
It wasn't like no, because it wasn't like it wasn't like super. It wasn't like super strong like Billy Connolly when he's yelling at something. It was just like it was a nice.
Oh no, it will be.
Yeah. I'll give you something to yell at in that voice if you want. I can do that.
I know why that. I actually know why that was. That was not a. Can I just say that was not a very specific choice. That was not a choice to sound like Billy Connolly. It was just because we were talking about it. Because obviously he's in The Hobbit as Dane Ironfoot. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh man, I really want to watch some old stand up of his because it's such comfort food. Mm-hmm. Like having grown up with that way, like his work and all that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stick on one of his old stand-ups and all that and see and sure enough, by the end of it, I'm fucking talking like the cunt. I'm like, I'm just like, oh no, I may have fucked a little bit here.
Isn't that always so interesting how, like, when we draw inspiration from things, we are accidentally sort of, like, creating situations where it almost feels like we're imitating them, even though that's not necessarily what we're
Yeah, a
doing.
little bit.
It,
I did
like,
take inspiration from Billy's character in The Hobbit, yeah, because like I love the fact that if you're a fan of The Hobbit, I highly recommend you look up any interview that with regards to that film that involves Billy Connolly, because his point of view in those films is fucking hilarious. So there's a point where Peter Jackson asked if he'd read The Hobbit. His response, "No, and I don't like people who have."
oh. What an odd thing to say, Billy Connolly.
To Peter fucking Jackson, he said,
Yeah.
"I don't like people who have."
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Me? Who, me? Anyway.
Oh, to be fair, when asked to clarify, he was very specific. It's like, it's like the ones that like go on about, oh, you haven't read The Hobbit, so you don't know this. Why, you know, like the toxic fans are like, oh, so you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know every character's name from every age of Middle Earth, then you do not like this shit, kind of thing.
Yeah, like that's.
Apparently, he'd run into a few of those.
We call that toxic fandom. Just in case anyone was wondering what that is.
Yeah, but when you've ran into quite a few of those cunts on the trot.
Yeah.
It can sour your view on something, which is why I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until people stopped suggesting I start watching Game of Thrones.
Mood.
I literally was like,
That's
I'm
great.
gonna watch this on my own terms, and you're not gonna know about it until I'm done. My friend.
I was the same with One Piece.
Yeah, all of my friends who were like super into getting me into Game of Thrones were like, "You need to watch Game of Thrones," and I'm like, when they stopped bringing it up because I just stopped responding to their messages or whatever, is when I started watching it, and I did not tell them that I watched it until I had watched all 8 seasons. I was like,
"Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
You watched all 8. That's
listen,
a shame."
There are some characters that like survived to the end of that show that I liked enough to continue watching the show because I wanted to follow them. Breaking news: none of them were Daenerys Targaryen, but
Hey.
I watched it because I really was super into like Jon Snow, Sansa, Arya, like essentially anyone from the North that survived past like season 3. I was like, I got my eyes on you.
I really like Sansa's arc. It's really cool.
Yeah, I just
Her character
love.
arc is fascinating
I think
to me.
she's badass.
Guaranteed, though, Sean Bean was a very big deciding factor in whether Kendall watched it or not.
If I only cared about Sean Bean, I would have stopped watching after season 1.
Oh no, I'm not saying you only care about Sean Bean. But
Listen, anybody who knows me knows that I love Sean Bean. Whatever, it's fine. Not even remotely the reason why like my friend Jen read me for filth when Baldur's Gate 3 came out and we first started playing because I was like, I don't know why my brain has just latched on to Halcyon. And she's like,
Because it sounds like Sean Bean.
Exactly. And she's like, Kendall, I know why your brain latched on to Halcyon. And I was like, Jen, please enlighten me because it's actually infuriating. And she's like, it's because he sounds like Sean Bean. And I was like, motherfucker, why do you have to be so right so loudly? God damn it.
Yes. Stace gets it. Yes, Sean Bean. Bastards. That one. Yes. Yes, the best fucking show he was ever in. Damn right. Yes, Stace. I can never remember the name of the show, but I can picture the fucking like uniform.
Yeah. But actually, fun fact, the first thing I ever saw Sean Bean in that I loved with my whole heart was actually Lord of the Rings because his portrayal of Boromir made my 6-year-old heart just so happy. I don't know why. I was like that. Because my dad had just finished reading the books to me. Anyway, this is a long story. Let's just get into what we came here to do. Because
Can I give you a fun fact that you might judge me for?
What?
Well, knowing Kendall, she doesn't tend to judge many people. As it's used.
Is your Wi-Fi off? Yeah, my phone's off. My phone's off the Wi-Fi. Yeah, sorry. I turned it off in case you was playing Sea of Thieves. I actually know that joke from 8 out of 10 cats. Ah, bastard. Wait, what the?
Anyway, what is the thing that you want to say that I will judge you for, theoretically?
I did not watch, despite being like the perfect age for it, right? I did not watch Lord of the Rings because we're pretty much the same age, aren't we, Kendall?
I am approximately 11 months older than you. Yes.
Okay, so I didn't watch Lord of the Rings until I was 18.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I had been
I
at
just
that
didn't- I
point. I was watching Lord of the Rings every year, from the age of like
I just did.
10 to the current day. So,
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I was just like, not interested in it in the fucking slightest, and I don't know why. My granda loved it. He had all of them on VHS. And those
Damn.
cases were fucking massive because even the theatrical even the theatrical one had to be over 2 fucking tapes.
yeah. It's like the
So those
sound of
things were
music.
like books on the shelf.
Yeah.
Kinda like
I
Titanic
don't
had to be
judge.
that way as
Here's
well,
the thing,
but yeah.
right? Like, I don't judge people for like not being interested in the things that I'm interested in, as long as they're not dickheads about it. Like, we can all
Oh,
exist.
that's me fucked then.
Cyber. There are no words. Anyway,
I'm here to be a problem.
at least you admit it, because not everyone does. But we are going
Me
to...
a problem? No, never. Don't know what you mean.
Sorry, Emma just said, no. For context, I've been doing that gremlin voice on and off around the house just to annoy Emma.
Yeah, sorry, love. What were you planning on saying?
Sorry, I
Well,
just needed to put that in there. Horrifying, innit?
I don't know what you mean.
Horrifying.
Is that perfectly normal? Holy shit, she's at the door.
Drop a knob, isn't it?
Okay, my
darling.
audio is peaking.
You okay?
That's not good.
Fucking no.
Love you, Emma. Sorry.
Love you too.
Yes, we've been chatting for 25 minutes, just bullshitting and going off on tangents.
Technically, we've been...
Okay, technically it's only been 14 minutes because 13 minutes because 12 of those minutes were spent in the loading screen. So, shh. Shh.
No, I will not. No. Make me. No.
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 Okay,
Do the
we're
roar.
getting started
I
now
love you,
before
Daddy.
these two just
I love
derail
you,
the
Daddy.
entire experience. We're gonna start with a sort
Oh, no.
of recap of what happened last time.
Thank fuck!
And I'll transition over to the map screen in a minute, but I feel like this is a good place to do that without getting distracted by visuals. So we're gonna do it this way because I'm in charge. Yay.
Good reason as any.
Look, I'm not like the CEO. I'm not Stace, but like, this is my project. I'm in charge. I'm in charge of this, not in charge of everything, is what I'm saying. But in the prologue of the Reclamation of Arnor, we saw our heroes sort of living their everyday lives. We have from the Blue Mountains to the west, Wili, son of Dili, a scholar of great renown with great capabilities in battle. He was summoned to the entryway of Thorn's Halls by its lord, Dwalin, son of Fundin. And that's not a thing that happens all the time, so it was a very interesting experience. And when he arrived, he was face to face with one of the great eagles of the Maiar. And he heard from that eagle that a great evil had been defeated in the east. The One Ring had been destroyed, thrown into the fires of Mount Doom, and Sauron had been defeated. And the dwarves of the Blue Mountains were invited to sojourn to Gondor by its new king, as part of the celebration of this great great victory, as well as to celebrate the wedding of King Elisar to one Arwen Umdomiel. A great, all of the, dwarves that were chosen to accompany Lord Dwalin on this journey were, of high, not necessarily high status, but of great skill, great talent, individuals that would reflect well, I suppose, on the Blue Mountains and the legacy of Thorin Oakenshield, on which that kingdom was built. Similarly, in Erebor, probably a few days prior to this, I suppose, Farin formerly of the Iron Hills, now of Erebor, as he followed Dane Ironfoot from the Iron Hills to Erebor when he became king of Durin's folk. It wasn't having a good time, most likely. Can't say that being besieged inside a mountain is a great way to spend your time or something that people enjoy. But there he was, and
no, it's very boring.
Yeah, and he was making preparations. There were you could hear resonating through the mountain the sounds of battering rams and things being used to try and intimidate the people inside to coming outside, or trying to essentially remind them that they were there in a very sort of intimidating manner. And as they are, there are people all around him who are, he's surrounded by wounded, he's surrounded by the injured who, are still capable of fighting, so they, have taken up arms. But there's one individual that sort of kind of piques his interest, and there was a young boy from Dale. The men and women of Dale were also sheltering in the mountain, and they were being sort of besieged. And it is sort of discovered at that point that both the king of Dale and the king of Erebor had sacrificed themselves to give their soldiers a chance to retreat back into the mountain. And it is kind of in this somber sort of vibe that they have all found themselves sort of trying to figure out what happens next. As time goes by, Farin is, trying to talk to people and, get, keep the hope alive. A noise that they had not heard in several days, accompanied by a beam of light, kind of sunlight from the outside, kind of shining into the mountain. It turns out that another one of the eagles had arrived in Erebor, and with the help of what few soldiers were out on, what are they called? Out on the
Palisades, the bastions.
That word, the Palisades. They were able to bring low an enemy, and as the eagle kills this Nazgul, it falls formlessly, through this beam of light, and it lands on the ground in this kind of area that had been set apart for medical use. He sees and watches as this Nazgul, you just hear this last feral screech, and it falls dead. And all of the enemies have sort of been routed in combination by this gigantic eagle, and then the elven forces who are coming from the south to aid their brethren in the north after the reclamation of Dol Guldur from the forces of Sauron. After all of this is handled, he passes off this little kid to, the princess, soon to be queen of Erebor, that he has known of for a very long time. He kind of looks around, and there's a big feast that's thrown. There's also kind of a piece of his little heart that's missing in that his king is dead, the one that he followed from the Iron Hills to Erebor, who he served faithfully his entire life. And it just feels like there was a piece of him at that point that was missing a little bit, and he decided to pay a visit to his tomb, where he met a little, by little I mean not so little, Dane Ironfoot's trusted steed was there, and she was also sad, and they were sad together. Eventually the decision was made to give custody, stewardship of this animal over to Farin, and together they left and departed south to go to Gondor at the invitation, once again, of King Elisar to celebrate the defeat of Sauron. At the very end of all of this, though, both Farin and Wili have the same dream. They dream of a place to the north. They're able to kind of infer from the dream that it's in the north, that it is, far away from where they are going, but it is inevitably where they must end up, if you will. And that there is the vestiges of a great evil coming down out of Angmar into Eriador. So all, nations, all people groups, all nations are threatened, from the Shire to Breeland to Evendim and the Blue Mountains. There's not a group of people that is at risk of being left alone by this evil. And this vision specifically points them to the ruins of another white city. They've both heard Minas Tirith referred to as the White City, but it had a companion in the north, and that city is the city that you know intrinsically, just after having this dream, is called Anumanaz. That is a city that at its height was equal to Minas Tirith in beauty and power and whatever. And you kind of saw in this dream that there was this sort of dome-ish, sort of creepy, sort of like green light that is cast upon, this area by some unknown force. And when you wake up from this dream, it is a very sort of unique experience. You meet individuals who will be able to help you on this journey. And you know that before you can go north, you have to finish going south. So that's kind of where we left off. And which one of you... So Farin is in Aglarond, which is in Rohan. And Wili is near Moria, which is more north. So which one of you wants to go first for the next bit?
Is there a map so we can show viewers
map.
roughly where we are and that kind of thing?
There we go. Map. Oh, I gotta make chat smaller real quick. Okay, actually no. Chat is fine. Hold on, please. So, this is where Cyber is. This is where Farin is. Helm's Deep, the glittering caves of Aglarond are underneath it. So this is where... actually, let me do this. This is where Cyber is. That is huge. Doesn't need to be that big. That's where Cyber is. And...
Where were you when the Westfold fell?
Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell?
Sorry.
Do not get me started on where Gondor was when the Westfold fell, okay? Gondor was fighting for Gondor when the Westfold fell.
So I'm sorry to tell you, my friend, we were a wee bit fucked up. You see, he was a big scary guy and we were fighting him.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, he gave us some. He gave us some curry the previous night. We were just on the shitter for ages afterwards.
Oh god, it was terrible. So it was.
God, where was Gondor when the Westfold fell? Probably Ithilien, actually, Theoden. Jesus. Anyway.
Who are you talking to, Theoden or Jesus? I ken they look similar, but this.
Okay.
I'm
So
just
the
kidding.
shield up here is where you are, Shammers, and the little axe down here is where you are, Cyber.
Okay.
So which one of you would like to go first?
I mean, I'll happily hand over to Shammers here.
Okay.
If you're
I will also happily hand over to Cyber because I need a very quick bio break. So,
All right, sound right. That's that.
I'll be back very soon.
So as we're gonna zoom back in over here.
Aye, they're on. Aye.
You wake up, and the room you were staying in, it wasn't like super fancy. It wasn't like meant for a lord, or you were accompanying the new king of Erebor on this journey, right? So like, it's not as fancy as it could be, or as it maybe should have been for the people who are coming, but like, it was really lovely for what it was, especially because Aglarond is a new dwarven settlement. Can you please roll me an awareness check real quick?
Oh no, I don't have any pips in that. That means it's just 1d6, doesn't it?
No, so you're gonna roll a d12 and a d6.
D12,
So
sorry. So I don't have any pips.
Okay, so you're just gonna roll a d12 then.
So it's just a d12.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to beat a 12.
Oof. Meets
Yeah.
it beats it in my world, so.
Well, that doesn't work because that's a fucking 2.
Oh
so-
no.
Did I
Man.
get style points because it landed on my mouse pad? No.
Sure. Yeah, totally. That's how that works.
Maybe 10 style points, just to
10 whole points.
yeah,
Well,
just to bring me
luckily,
up. No.
luckily,
Oh, shit.
it's not super hard for you to hear what is going on. There are whispers among the dwarves that one of the individuals who was instrumental in the destruction of the ring, Gimli, son of Gloin, who, if you spent any time in Erebor at all, both of those names are familiar to you. Gloin
Aye.
as one of the sole remaining still alive members of the Company of Thorn, Oak, and Shield that reclaimed Erebor for the dwarves. And Gimli, his son, who before departing Erebor was a smith of great skill, and he traveled to Rivendell and with his father, at the behest of Elrond Half-Elven to determine what was to be done with the ring. And then Gimli was a part of that fellowship that departed from there and saw to its destruction. So those are names that you are definitely familiar with. And it brings joy to your heart knowing that young dwarf that you knew, who was always far too precocious for his own good, obviously survived
Aye, he's a
something
good lad.
big and scary and world-changing, right? But word has reached them that the dwarves in Aglarond, that he is safe in Minas Tirith, that he is there to celebrate the king, the crowning of the king and his wedding and all of that, and that he will actually return to Aglarond as its lord after those
Oof.
celebrations are complete. So that's sort of the hot goss you're hearing kind of throughout the morning about how Thorin Stonehelm, the new king of Erebor, has seen fit to give these lands to Gimli as a landhold for him to lord over. Pretty great, isn't it? But as you stir, you're like trying to get out of bed, and then you realize that there's a boar-shaped weighted blanket. Mostly like she big, right? And she
She just goes to get up and you just hear,
just right into the chest, like.
what?
See, that's the whole sort of moto. I like 'em big.
Oh, no.
Horrifying.
Oh, no.
Don't like that. But she, I think, since leaving Erebor, she's kind of taken to you a little bit. As much comfort as you are drawing from her, she's drawing from you, and she is very like doesn't like being too far away from you. Definitely, it tries to like You know how sometimes dogs do that thing where they like butt their heads against your leg and they're like trying to share molecules with you?
Oh, that.
It's that, except she's big. Like way bigger. Like instead of it like being like your shins or your kneecaps, it's just like her forehead against your sternum, and she's like, if I press against you hard enough, I will become one with you. Sort of.
For context, I've had a. Oh, no, it wasn't a Saint Bernard. What the fuck was it? That was it. Sorry, it was bigger than that. I've had a Tibetan Mastiff do that to me while I was trying to walk. So I imagine it's somewhat similar.
Yeah. She is trying her best to just become one with you. I think in a way it's kind of like a bonding thing in a sense, but it's also that she's just very like she's like I've lost a lot, and it's kind of like that mutual feeling of like we've both lost something, and like if you're my new person, then I'll you can probably infer that she was like that with Dane as well, but like I think because you're new and also because it's like big sad hours, she's just like trying to like at the very least make you smile, at the very least make you not be sad at the very most make you not be sad anymore.
Right, well, she's made me winded. So that's one way to start the day.
No regret. You look down at her little face and she's just like, shame, remorse, what is that? She got none of it. She's doing her best though.
You're alright, girl.
Yeah.
She'll just reach out and give her a wee scratch.
Yeah. And then when you do that, she like lets out this like huff of a sound. It's like all of the air like leaves her body as she like kind of relaxes a bit, and then like somehow without stepping,
that's uncomfortably warm, that.
Yeah. And then somehow without stepping on you, manages to extract herself from where you are laying and get up so that you can also get up.
Alright, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, my excuse is fucked off.
My excuse is fucked off. Amazing. Guess I gotta get up now. I don't have a 400-pound animal laying down on my chest.
Right, that's it. Game's a bogey.
But as you sort of are doing that, a very eager-looking young man who has traveled with you from Erebor comes up to, like, as you're finished getting ready for the day, you have your armor, you have your gear, you and Boar are making your way out to where, like, this meeting point is.
Making my way.
God damn it. Tell me you watch Critical Role without telling me.
I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
I hate it here. Anyway. So as you both make your way to kind of like this grand entrance hall, a young man wearing the livery of the King of Erebor comes and taps you on the shoulder, and he looks very out of his depth.
What you doing with the king's liver?
Not the king's liver, the king's livery, heraldry, if you will.
Try to sell it in the black market. Yeah.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
He needs that. He needs that liver. He needs that liver. He's pals with Gimli.
I feel
I've
like
been a night out with him. He needs a liver.
you'll actually find that it's not the black market here. It's the black speech market. Thank you very much.
Anyway, he looks a little out of his depth, and you can tell that he's old enough to like be away from his family, not necessarily old enough to understand what it means to all of a sudden become the king's squire. That's like a really stressful thing for him, and you can see it on his face, and he's just got like he managed to like make it to breakfast, but now he's just like, this is a dwarf that you know, and you know that he's looked up to you for a very long time, and he's, honored beyond measure to be able to serve the king, but also very stressed about the fact that he has to serve the king. And he just kind of like comes over and he just kind of looks at you and is like, what is happening? What is happening? Like, what? And he's just overwhelmed. There's no coherent speech. It's just like, he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. His armor's so different than mine. I don't know what's happening. How do I put it on?
Calm down, lad. You'll hurt yourself. Right,
What? And he like kind of looks over at you and is like, oh God, you heard that. You heard that.
It was out loud, mate. It was.
Was it? Oh, apologies.
Pal, look, I'm not going to mention my words. Kaga heard it.
Oh. And then he like looks past you at the bar and is like, I don't know if that makes it better or worse. But she kind of like comes up.
She's an affig gossip.
She kind of comes up to him and like, you know how like sometimes dogs will like butt their head against your hand when they're trying to get pets?
Yep.
It's that. It's that where she's just like, scratch my head, you fool.
Does he look confused by it at all, or is it just like
he recognizes the form of her as
cool.
having once belonged to the king, like to the dead king, and his eyes kind of like soften a little bit, but there's still that like manic, a little bit like on edge, like what this is. I'm a fraud. I'm a fake. What the fuck am I doing? Like that sort of energy. And so, emotional support Piggy is just like picking up on the vibes and is like, I'm cute. I can fix this.
Good girl.
But
I'll try and I'll walk over and put my armour in the lad. Right. It's alright. Keep clapping the board. It's alright. She enjoys it.
okay. And he does, and she kind of like nuzzles. She does the nuzzle thing, like give more sort of energy. I don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, I'm going to let you in a wee secret, right? Nobody does. Even the king.
Oh God.
Right?
Oh boy.
This is like you're well within your rights, pal. This is mental, right? This isn't. This is like a person we thought was a necromancer turned out to be the biggest badgian of all the badgians. Came back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody was fighting him.
Yeah.
We were all some of us were actually fighting different versions of him, right? Some mad homeless guy for Bree turns out to be the king, right? And now... And apparently his best pal is three hobbits that occasionally jump up on top of each other in a trench coat to try and get served a pint. Right? It's no right.
I don't think he was homeless. He lived in Rivendell, didn't he?
Homeless, ranger, potato, trust me. Right? It's all
okay.
It's all relative, right?
Have you had a lot of interactions with the Dunedain?
I don't think I've had any, to be honest.
Okay.
But
all right. And
look,
he just
here's
kind
the
of
thing.
just like his like breathing starts to calm down. And in her infinite wisdom, Kaga just lays down on both of your feet. So you're both stuck now.
Okay, right. Listen, pal. Do me a favour, would you? If ever I look like I'm about to forget, remind me to reinforce my boots, right? Just because I feel like this is going to be a regular thing. And he looks down.
Do you not have steel toes? Most of us have steel toes.
Yeah, I do. You seen the fucking size here?
Fair enough.
I'm going to tap somebody for mithril at this point, right?
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Aye, fire away.
What do we do? Like, did you have like a lot of dealings with men? Like, we're going to celebrate one of their kings. Like, they have a bunch of kings in like a bunch of different places. So like, I don't know what the traditions are.
I can't say I know all of them, to be honest. They're different every kingdom you go into. Here's it. Here's the thing, right? I'll tell you right now. One is in this company is going to make a fool of themselves at some point or another, right?
Yeah.
The key is to not make your fool of yourself in the same way more than once, right?
So like.
It's all right to make a mistake. It's not all right to make the same mistake 4 or 5 times. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sort of.
So just look. You're going to mess up. You're going to call the wrong person by the wrong name or whatever the hell, right? So long as when they correct you, don't be a dick, right? Just listen to them.
Okay.
Go like, all right, remember it, and don't make the same mistake again. So long as you're learning, you'll be fine. All right?
Yeah. Okay.
Think about it. See if if it was one of them coming to us.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't kick them out because they got the wrong name of somebody or anything. Like, well, actually, I know a few folk that would probably kick them out. But anyway, that's a bad example, right? We've got some stubborn bastards down our way. But you know, just try. That's all you need to do, right? You just need to try. That's all anybody ever needs to do. Just try. All right. As long as you keep doing that, you'll be all right.
Okay. One more question.
Aye.
He pulls a pair of, like, what you can tell are pauldrons out from behind his back. And they're metal, obviously, but you can tell from the outfit that he's wearing that he's very more used to, like, he has, like, a bow across his back, and he's very much so used to, like, leather armor, so it's a lot easier for him to, like, put that on. He's like, I don't know how these fasten on. He told me I had to wear them, but I don't know how to put them on.
Don't worry, I remember learning how to do these. Trust me, you'll get the hang of it eventually. Here,
Can
there's
you
a wee
show
trick
me?
to it. Aye, but again, Ian, you'll mess up, right? Just keep trying, you'll get it eventually. Right, I'll try and he'll show them like the way that he does his pauldrons and all that, and how, like, the standard way that it's kind of
Yeah. And
done.
so yeah, you show him like the mounting points to the gorget. You show him like this buckle goes here, this buckle goes here, and then this one wraps around your arm at the bottom, and it fits. And if it's too tight, let me know so we can loosen it. We can figure out what works for you. And then, like, the gorget actually attaches like this, and it has 2 leather things on the back. So actually, all you really have to do to take it off is, like, unstrap it from under your arm, and then just pull
And if
it
you
off
see
over
yourself
your
going
head.
purple near any of the buckles, you've done it too tight, right?
Yeah.
So you
That kind of stuff. And he just kind of is very grateful and very, excited to figure out what's going on. And as that conversation occurs and finishes, this guy goes from looking like he's gonna die a horrible death to feeling a little bit more confident and comfortable with the fact that it's okay that he doesn't know what's going on, because we live in unprecedented times. It's crazy. The world is different now. Nothing makes
I'm
sense.
so sorry.
Everything is permissible.
That sentence just triggered me to fuck, by the way. That was oh god.
Which one?
All of that, just we live in unprecedented times. I was, oh god, no, we're back. Oh no.
Can I have more? Can I have some precedented times, please? Can we go back to the precedented times?
Just as a treat, you know.
Just as a treat.
For dessert.
Everything is permissible. Nothing is illegal. There are no rules.
Oh my days.
All of the above.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Emma just goes COVID, right? But as, he feels a lot more confident, and in the distance you hear a horn, a dwarven horn being blown, which to you understand just like from the course of the journey, that is the mustering horn. That is to get everybody who is traveling to Rohan with the king together so that you can depart for the day.
Right. Gaga.
She does like a little grunt of like kind of like grumpy pig noises. More of those. More grumpy pig noises, everybody.
Love it.
But she kind of like, she sits up off your feet, and you can tell actually, your companion is chuckles a little bit at the fact that your feet, like the boots you were wearing, like had a toe cap that kind of like was pointed a little bit.
That is now completely.
And now it's just like a little flat. It's just like it's a little flat. Easy to fix, no problem.
Right.
Like anyone with basic smithing skills could fix it, but it is funny to watch.
Steel toes, eh? Just look down.
Crazy. And she kind of like tucks her like back flank under one of your arms. And just it's almost like she's trying to throw your arm over her back as like a we're in this together sort of. This is a very intelligent pig. She's just like I'm an emotional support pig actually, more than I am a mount or
Emotional
a
support pig.
and
Love
she knows what she's doing. She knows how to kind of bring the vibe back up. And as she does that, she sort of waits for everyone to kind of go by who's like heading out, and the person, you know, the guy you helped with his armor and stuff is very like grateful for your help and absolutely trying not to laugh outright in your face about the fact that your pig can read you for filth apparently. And
All right.
as you kind of exit, so you come up out of the caves, which are like the cave walls are not like the green sort of granite of Erebor, not like the sort of like gray sort of marble of Thorin's halls. Like this is crystals. Like they call
So
these...
I guess.
Yeah.
So you could say I'm coming out of my cave and I've been doing just fine.
Emma, can you flick him on the back of the head for me?
No, please, no.
I said what I said. Because I know she's here. At least someone in the friend group listens to me.
Yep, 2 secs.
Yes!
Hey, put something in front of the door.
Yes, I win. But as you sort of make your way through these very crystalline halls to up towards the entrance to the cave, you emerge into the sunlight of the east fold, no, it is the west fold, the west fold of Rohan, and you find that the dwarves are not the only people getting ready to travel south. The Aerid of Rohirric soldiers that was stationed at Helm's Deep after the battle appears to be making ready to depart at the behest of their king to travel to Minas Tirith as well. So now it is not just the dwarves who are traveling south, it is also the dwarves and a small, or relatively small, compared to what a whole army of Rohirrim looks like. They are traveling with you also to Minas Tirith. Can you make me a scan check, please, Cyber?
Oh no. Wait, scan. What one's that? Oh, this is one of the ones I'm good with.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, scan. Look intentionally.
Oh, this isn't
instead
the
of...
first roll. This is the first roll that I have a chance at fucking passing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got 3 pips in this. That means I roll 3d6 afterwards, aye?
Correct. And do you have a check mark?
Sound.
I think you have a check mark to the left of it, right?
No.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll 1d12 and 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you roll either a 12 or a 10, 12 or an 11 on the d12, and if you roll any 6s on the d6s.
That's a fucking 12.
Hell yeah. Okay, so that's a critical success. Now roll your d6s.
1.
Okay.
So that's 13.
So you have 2 more, right?
That's a 6.
Okay, perfect.
So, what?
So that's
13
gonna be
is 19.
19, okay. Hell yeah.
And 3 for what? 21.
Yes. 19 plus 3 is 22.
22. Fuck! I always do that.
So, I'm gonna just quickly explain. So, a 12 on the D12 is a critical success, and 11 on the D12 is a critical failure. And then for every 6
Wait,
that you
11?
roll, yes,
So not a 1.
not a 1. It's
What the fuck? What?
it's
what
because you're
cruel
rolling on a
bastard did
D12.
that?
The odds are different. You're rolling on a D12. The odds are different. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But for every 6 you rolled 1 6. So you essentially have, not only have you rolled a Gandalf, which is really great, you have 1 degree of success. So beyond just like, I succeeded at this thing, you succeeded at this thing and there's some sort of benefit for it, which I will now explain.
Sweet. Okay.
Your keen eyes are scanning the area around you, and as you are taking in the dwarves that you've been traveling with, your eyes land on your queen, on the king, on Dagnira, who like isn't married to the king yet, so like can't be called queen, but she may as well be queen, you see all of these dwarven individuals surrounded by the Aered of Rohirrim, who through the grapevine you heard fought in the Battle of Helm's Deep, but were so severely wounded that they could not then go forward from there to Minas Tirith the first time, which is why they are currently here. But as you are looking, you kind of look to the west. Your eyes kind of are drawn west, and you can see that like there's this path that goes from, you came down from the Gap of Rohan and the Fords of Eisen, and then were in the Westfold, and you arrived at Helm's Deep, and you stayed for a couple days, and you're getting ready to continue south. But as you do that, across your vision, like for a moment, you're like kind of, I'm not going to say it's a flashback, but like you kind of are looking out across this landscape, and it is very similar to the landscape around Erebor. But as you are kind of observing the area, you can see, probably further than any dwarf has any right to like actually be able to see and comprehend, but like you've always had like this keen sort of sense about about when things aren't right. But you see from across the way, there appears to be a group of individuals. You can't tell if they're Uruk or of men or whatever, but there's a large group of people traveling at speed towards your current location, and you are not able to discern from this distance whether or not they are friend or foe.
In that case, I'll shout out to, hey! People, that way. Might be Badgians. I don't know.
Might be Badgians. With that, the Rohirrim sort of perk up, and you see like 4 or 5 of them like hop up on their horses and go kind of through these main gates. As you kind of call down from where you are, you're actually able to, as they get closer and as the Rohirrim ride out to meet them, you're able to discern that these are no ordinary men. They are dressed in shades of green and brown and black, and some of and have bows across their back and have swords at their hilts that are not of they're definitely not Rohirric, they're definitely not dwarvish, they're definitely not elvish, so these are swords of Manish make. And you see that one of them on the collar of their cloak has a brooch that is an 8 or a 7-pointed star. And can you roll me a lore check? Or
I
riddle.
will as soon as I find where lore is. Oh,
lore
okay,
is underscan.
I'll take riddle because I've got 2 pips in that instead of 1 for lore.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a D12. Kendall.
Yes.
My friend. Could we revisit the discussion as to why the fucking 11 is a critical failure?
It's a matter of odds. Also, I didn't make the rules.
Well, I think you can guess from context clues what the fuck I rolled.
Oh no, that is what we call an Eye of Sauron. Tragedy. Sauron is dead. He can't hurt us, but Sauron can't hurt us because he's dead in this game. But still big bummer. Big bummer hours.
That's unfortunate.
Literally one right after the other too. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're right next to each other on the fucking die.
Crazy. Okay, so you see that brooch and it like itches something familiar in your brain, but you can't identify it. You don't know what it is. But you can infer by the greetings that are being given by the Rohirrim who have ridden out to meet them that it is not. Those are not enemies. That's more friends actually. And they appear to have come from the north.
Damn it.
Oh, we'll get to... Okay, I get it. You want to fight, whatever.
No, it wasn't I want to fight. It's more just I can't be arsed talking to them deals.
Yeah.
That's kind of to say that's fully in character.
And so as this sort of continues, those riders that were coming towards you meet up with the Rohirrim, and they all kind of ride into the keep together. And the leader of the Rohirrim, who is wearing a sort of ornate set of leather armor from like head to toe, it has two gold, like from the shoulders, it has two golden horse heads that like meet in the middle of his chest, and like there's like some really nice like Celtic knotwork sort of underneath it, and it's like a deep red color with like gold on it, but then it also has accents of green and white as well. So like the pauldrons and the bracers and the like tassets and stuff are like kind of green, with like the banner kind of emulating, I guess that's the word, imitating, if you will, the flag of Rohan, which flies over these battlements that you have just emerged from underneath of.
Right.
And a man kind of hops down off of one of the guys clad in green and brown who kind of was approaching. Hops down off of his horse and gives this individual like a big like kind of slap on the back, sort of like, this is my friend hug. And
Alright.
before you can fully comprehend what's going on there, Thorin Stonehelm comes up behind you. He kind of puts his hand on Kaga's back. He grew up obviously around her, so like he knows her very well, and she lets him kind of interact with her in that way. And he says, those are, he kind of leans over and he whispers to you, and he says, those men who just arrived are of the Dunedain. They're going to reunite with their
You what,
chief-
mate? Sorry, I didn't see who you were there. So terrible sorry. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Sorry, sir.
I regret nothing. My father did always say you were very easy to
Did you
sneak
see-
up on.
Did... cheeky wee... Anyway. I mean, he's right, but he didn't need to be so loud about it.
When did you ever know my father to be quiet?
I'll get back to you on that. Alright, Dunedain, you say?
Yes.
Alright.
They've come out of the north. These individuals were supposed to travel south with a group that was seeking out the King of Gondor, I suppose, called the Grey Company. But they were injured and could not continue their journey. But they're also well enough to travel, as well as these Rohirrim soldiers that we're traveling with. So they joined us. They thought they missed us, which is why they were riding so quickly. But alas, they did not. So, no worries there.
No, I just saw... I'll be honest, I just saw a group of folk riding full pelt towards us and get a wee bit of a fright, truth be told.
As is fair and good and appropriate, and we appreciate that you yelled about it.
Well, glad to hear they're no badgians then.
Correct. Just so you know what our travel plans are for the day, we are
Aye.
going to be going south to Edoras. We'll be resupplying our supplies and then continuing down to essentially going through the Eastfold to Gondor, essentially straight from here to Minas Tirith. It should only take us 4 or 5 more days to get where we're going.
That's no bad going.
No, it isn't, especially now that we have well-armed and armored company. More well-armed and armored company. We also have a letter of, one might call recommendation from Lord Gimli that will make our travels easier, that he can speak on our behalf. Right, he's an adult now. It's weird.
That's honestly that. Just hearing you say Lord Gimli, right? That doesn't sound right. Like
I know, and I'm the one who told him. I'm the one who did that.
I know. Like, not to be disrespectful or nothing. Right? He's earned it. He's a cracking lad. But by like, you ken what I'm talking about. We both knew him as a boy.
Yeah.
That's no right.
Weird. So weird. Anyway.
Oh god.
Could be weird.
It's like seeing somebody you used to drink with their firstborn. You know, you just look at them and just like, I've seen you do a headstand after a bar. You should not be in charge of a child. You know what I mean? It's that same feeling.
Who
you
gave
know
you that permission?
Lord Gimli.
Who gave you permission to have a child? How dare you? But just wanted to let you know that was the plan. We will be arriving in Minas Tirith also just in time for it's looking like the arrival of the elves of Lorien and Rivendell will be timed. That we will arrive and then they will arrive, within a week after us. So
we beat them.
We were closer than them.
Aye, but we've got weird legs.
Fair enough.
Well, I ken we're sound now, right? But a wee bit of competition's still healthy, you know?
Oh, yeah. That is true. And the mustering horn is blown again. And with that, the two of you, so both Thorin and also yourself, kind of mount up on your mounts. He has this very glorious, very finely manicured mountain goat that he rides on. Dagnira, his fiance, has a lovely, beautiful, sort of like chestnut-colored pony with like blonde mane and tail. She's very beautiful. And then the king sort of asks that you kind of fall in on his other side, and you will kind of all lead this column together. And as you kind of you can see the banner of Erebor sort of rise behind you. One of the other mounted individuals kind of has affixed it to his mount. And from behind there, you see that the men of Rohan and the men of the Dunedain have kind of fallen in behind you guys. And as
just a quick wee look. See that the wee one that came up to me this morning and was freaking out. Can I see him? Is he cutting about? Is he all right?
He is directly. So you're in the first row. So it's Dagny, Thorin, Farin, and then it's someone who you can assume is Dagny's lady in waiting. This individual that you spoke to in the morning, who is Thorin Stonehelm's squire, and then the banner bearer.
So I'm just going to look behind him and I'm just going to give him the guy nod. Just to be. Right.
You're doing it, buddy. You're doing it.
You're all right, son.
Okay. So as you set out for the day, you, as stated, you go to Edoras, you resupply, and you camp kind of along this road, just periodically. And you cross. This is where you cross from Rohan into Gondor, and then you arrive. And are given, bam, Minas Tirith. There you go.
Hey.
And so that takes you about 5 days. And now we're gonna. Where is he? There he is. We're gonna hang out with Wili, son of Dili, for a while.
Well, hello.
Hi.
I'll never get over how great that name is.
It's literally so funny.
Fucking brilliant.
I'm glad you've warmed up to it, love, because you
No, I've never had a problem with it. Look, the character in Lord of the Rings Online, who also shares a similar name, is one of my favorite stable masters in the game. I love him. Anyway.
I need to play that game at some point. It sounds class. Right, sorry.
It's literally so fun, and if you
potential
play it with me,
potential
have a great
SpecDub you.
Could be. I get you now.
me and Joel. Oh God.
Oh yes.
Cyber would be so educated about Lord of the Rings by the time that game was by the time that 2 hour
Oh my
stream
god,
was
I'll have
over.
a fucking notepad with me. I'm ready to go.
But
I'm ready.
Bold of you to assume all of it can be fit into one notepad.
Bold of you to assume I only have one notepad. I've got about 400 of the fuckers all with the first page fill and nothing else.
damn.
that should cover the first couple chapters.
That'll do. I should take us up to the second age.
At least.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
all
Apologies.
All good. So you, Wili, spent the night in the mountains near Moria. You crossed over them, actually, and you can kind of see from where you've ended up that it was not safe to pass through Moria specifically, so there was a mountain pass that went kind of up and over those mountains, and you camped on the side closest to Lothlorien. So you are kind of between, you kind of see what is labeled up here as the Dimril Dale. These are the dwarven lands that kind of spread out from the mountains, the Misty Mountains, where Moria is located, out to the Anduin. So these are all dwarven lands, and you can kind of see from where you are, you can see out across the Dimril Dale, and you can see up into the mountains, and you can see, actually, the eastern gate of Moria. Now, this gate, it is not the fabled gate that Celebrimbor and Narvi built together that is on the other side of the mountain, but this is the east gate by which most business with, other people groups in the first and second, in the second age would have been done. And you see these tall, almost pillar-esque statues of the different iterations of Durin that lived in Moria. So you have Durin the First through Durin the Fourth, or Durin the Sixth, excuse me, who all ruled the dwarves of Durin's folk from Khazad-dûm. And their statues kind of go up. You kind of see this grand staircase, and there's you can kind of see that it's Durin the Fifth, Durin the Sixth, Durin the Third, Durin the Fourth, Durin the First, Durin the Second, kind of just spreading out from there. And as you are beholding this, as you are kind of looking at it, there is one person that probably, for a completely different set of reasons, is staring at those doors very intently. And that is none other than Lord Dwalin. And you know that the reason why he is looking at those doors so intently is because years before, his brother Balin had set out on a journey to reclaim Khazad-dûm from the orcs that you recently learned had ultimately failed. And so he is looking kind of at those doors as he and as he is doing so, it is less out of scholarly interest and more out of the fact that his only living family member, or his only remaining family member, his body's in there somewhere, and at some point someone will have to go and find it, which is a thing that doesn't really sit well with him. Do you approach?
Aye, he will.
As you do, he looks at you, eyes sort of glossed over in a way that he would deny if you pointed it out. It's clear that he had been, crying and obviously very upset about what had happened and all this sort of very strong emotions that he was feeling, um, that he had kind of tried to keep to himself, and he had hoped that maybe by standing here, there wouldn't really be, an issue or any of that, but it very obviously is something that he feels very strongly about. But as he looks at you, he says, if you ever come back here, we stand more a chance now of reclaiming this mountain than we ever did. And a scholar like you would know nothing but the history of it and really be able to appreciate it in a way that I don't think I could anymore.
He'll sort of place a hand on his shoulder, and sort of nod his head and goes, appreciation comes in many forms and shapes and sizes. Just because it looks different does not mean it's less.
He kind of chuckles and goes, my brother believed that we could reclaim this mountain for our people. That we could return to our ancestral homeland as if the one we had reclaimed not 5 years before wasn't enough. He knew the dangers and he faced them anyway, but at a cost that is so much greater than just the knowledge. We didn't. It's more than just a place. Yes, there's history here, there's lore, there's stories, there's all of these things, but at the end of the day, the people he brought here probably thought they were going to be able to make this place their home, and when they couldn't, they lost their lives for it. And we dwarves are already so few as it is, spread out far and wide.
Aye, we are for sure, but there is no way I can spin this that can make their loss any less painful. I could say that they've laid the groundwork to help us reclaim on another attempt in the future, or, we can learn lessons and the like from how they managed it the first time, and none of it will take the hurt away. Not just at the attempt, not just at the loss of dwarven life, when so few of us remain. Also, the pain of losing someone we consider family. I'm sure there will be a day that we'll be able to take this place of such cultural import back and not live in fear that our lives will be taken for it, but I'm sure we will, but it does not lessen the pain.
I'm no stranger to peril, but this seems pointless. There is no Durin to sit on the throne. There is no Balrog anymore. Might be made easier, but there are orcs from all over. As far south as Isengard, as far north as Angmar. They were ready to make war on our homes. And not just ours. Lothlorien, Mirkwood. This was a staging point. Every dwarf in the world couldn't clear it out.
Aye, very true. However, they're far less organized than they were. Oh, yeah, they're far less organized than they were now that the Dark Lord is not organizing his forces around them. They will go back to their lives of before. So we might meet less resistance from it if we were to try again. Although I can fully understand where you're coming from with the whole pointless, not really worth it side of things. We do have plenty. As you said, we've taken Erebor back, and we've got a lot of our ancestral lands, and we've got new lands we can pass on to future generations. So there's that as well. But aye, maybe some new king somewhere will want to try and make a name for him. Try and take it back. Who knows?
Can you roll an awareness check for me?
Awareness. Yep, I certainly can. That will be... I've got 2 pips, so that's a D12 and...
2d6. Do you have a check mark to the left?
Not with awareness, no.
Okay. Yes. If it meets or exceeds your target number, let me know.
Right, so that is... So that's a 5 on the D12, and... So that meets the target number. My target number is 13, and that is a 13.
Excellent. So you see that in Lord Dwalin's hand, there is a sort of bouquet of wildflowers sort of just around, like, that he picked up from kind of around. And he's standing at the base of this staircase. So there's, the statues, and then they kind of lead up and they go to the door. And he's standing at the base of that staircase. And there's a railing, or there used to be sort of a railing between one side of the staircase and the other. And there's like a flat, it kind of went from being a railing to like there are kind of these platforms at the top and the bottom of the staircase. And he sort of smiles to himself, and he kind of looks at you, and he holds the flowers up, and he says, "These were his favorite. And I have carried them with me for a while. They are not native to this area." And as you look at them, like, he says he's been carrying them for a while, but, like, how long is a while? Because to you, they just look like the flowers around you. Like, you don't understand the difference, or if there even is one. And he just kind of smiles and places them down on that little plinth. And he mutters a prayer that you understand to be a prayer for the dead under his breath. And it's like you have never seen this man anything other than perfectly aware of what he wants to do and the reasons why he wants to do it. But as he looks up that staircase, you can see in his eyes that that is a man whose courage has failed him. Like, he can't get any closer to Moria and whatever is in there than he is in this moment. And even that is making him uncomfortable. And And so as he mutters, he kind of mumbles it in the Kuzdal dwarvish traditional language, and he puts the flowers down, and he just kind of leaves his hand on top of them until he finishes his prayer, and then he turns around and walks away. And in that sort of moment, you know, a thing that you had often heard about Dwalin kind of comes to mind. And that thing is that he has always, always, always sought to serve those beneath him before he ever gives himself consideration for himself. And that comes from a place of, like, I've lost a lot. Like, he's lost a lot. Lost his king, so Thorin Oakenshield. Lost his brother. Lost his father and mother and all these people, you know, to, you know, the Battle of Azanulbazar or the Fall of Erebor itself. Like, this is a man who has lived a long life. And unlike his brother who sought to find the good or to make a difference or to make an impact in the ways that he could, all Dwalin really kind of has it in himself to do at this point is just what he's always done, which is put one foot in front of the other and sort of see what happens. But can you roll me a lore check really quickly so you can maybe see what the flowers are?
Okay, so this is one with 2 pips and a check in the left-hand column.
So you're going to
is
roll
that...
2 d12s and take the highest with the pip. And then you're going to roll your d6s like normal. Let me know if you roll an 11, a 12, or a 6 on the d6.
Yeah, so I got a 6 as the highest of the 2 rolls. I rolled a 2 and a 6 for those. For the d12s. So I've not rolled the extra 2 pips yet, but
okay.
And I roll, so it's a 6 and a 12, so it's an 8. Sorry, so that is lower than my wits.
Okay. So.
Which is a 16.
Your skill set does not lie in botany. You don't know a lot about plants. You know a lot about poetry. You know a lot about songs. Not a lot about plants. But you see these sort of beautiful, like, white, almost cotton-like buds. They're not like dandelions. And like, they're not as, like, loose as dandelions. They're not as dense as cotton, but they have these lovely, they're like kind of like white in the middle with these pink sort of leaves that wrap around it. Like, there's, some of them are like red, some of them are pink, some of them are blue. Like, they have different colors. Or not blue, but purple. And you see flowers kind of similar to them around you, so you can assume that maybe he picked them last night and, like, was scared to do something with them until the morning or whatever. But, like, he is very, like, you kind of watch him as he walks away, and he, like, squares his shoulders and is kind of almost back to his normal self as he walks away. And the day kind of continues. People are, you know, making meals, doing whatever, packing up. Then from the south-ish, you hear a horn being blown, and it is not like a war horn or a, like, definitely not a dwarvish horn, and it's not like a war horn, but it is more or less the sound of somebody announcing their presence as they approach the dwarven encampment.
He'll sort of not kind of understanding the difference, that it's not battle horns, it's not sort of doesn't seem like a threat, but he'll be aware. He's got relatively quick hands for drawing his weapons, so he's not on edge, but sort of like aware and ready just in case. He'll whistle for his goat, You'll whistle for Topsy.
I forgot
to-
about that. God damn it. Anyway.
Yes, still surprising. He'll whistle for Topsy to come join him, just in case.
Yeah. Topsy comes over. He trots over and he kind of is supporting. He's got his saddle on and saddle bags that are currently empty, but he's just coming over and saying hi. And as you watch that southern road, if you kind of look on the map, like right here where that road sort of forks down into Lorien and then up into the Dimmerald Dale, he sees a small host of 7 or 8 elven figures. At the head of this group of figures, there are 3 individuals who look almost identical to one another physically, though they are dressed in different iterations of elven armor. The one at the very front is wearing elven plate armor. It is very ornately designed. It is also inlaid. It has like kind of swirls with like blue and gold sort of laced into the metal on the front. Next to him is an individual in the garb of an elven ranger. So you have like the leather armor, but the colors that he wears, instead of being muted shades of blues or browns and grays and whatever, are those same like muted shades of blue, tan, like those kinds of colors. Still similar to the gentleman in the front, but different enough that like this person is intended to fit in a different environment. And then the third one is wearing all black from head to toe. He has, here are the weapons you can see. There's 4 daggers across the front of his belt. He has a sword at his back. He has, you can see knives tucked into his boots. He has a black, like, mask that covers the lower half of his face, and his hood is up. You can see his eyes, which are piercing, like a very vivid, almost unnatural blue color. And the 2 individuals that he's standing with also have eyes that color. And their hair is very long, very blonde, very elvish. But one of them...
He'll sort of communicate that round. He'd communicate that it's an elven approach, sort of around camp. If the watchers, if those on watch hadn't mentioned it already, before.
And
approaching them to sort of meet them as they enter camp to see what's up.
Yes. They may be armed and armored, but they do not intend any harm at all. These elves, the 3 specifically, sort of approach the guards, and as they start to explain who they are, where they're coming from, they say, we serve the lady, the White Lady of Lothlorien. We have come to make plans for our sojourn to Gondor together. We also have food and supplies if you are in need. And also, the individual in the front with like the metal armor looks at Dwalin specifically and says, we have some things, some information that might interest you specifically, Lord Dwalin, regarding your kin's attempt to reclaim Khazad-dûm. And the sort of look that crosses his face of like, I am trying to be helpful and I'm trying to remember that these are just people who are trying to help us, kind of goes to war with this like look of like that is actually factually the last thing in the world he would rather, like the last thing in the world he would want to talk about. But he doesn't say that obviously because of the fact that like it was, done so graciously. And he nods and he kind of motions for the one in the front to follow. before calling out to you and saying, you know, you have my maps. Help us, find the best path south, and whatever you decide, I agree. Essentially, he's essentially giving you specifically full control over whatever conversation has to happen between the elves and the dwarves while he's speaking with this gentleman about Moria. So, look at that. You've been given diplomacy powers. How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes Wili son of Dili feel quite. This is going to stress me the fuck out. Diplomacy. No, I'm kidding. Yes, very important. Very important. I'll have to use the gift of the gab.
Gift of gab, you say?
Gift of the gab, aye.
Okay. So I'm zooming the map out a little bit. Can you see it, love?
Yep, I can see it. That's
okay.
good.
You are here. Goal is to get here. So as the elves sort of are speaking with you, they indicate that the best way for large groups of individuals to travel is to do so on the river. So,
Hey, not sure if you've ever met a dwarf. We're not the most adept of swimmers.
well, if you're
We're
swimming,
good sprinters. We can cover short distances very well, but swimmers, no.
well, in a boat, if you end up having to swim, something has gone wrong.
Aye, there is that. At the rivers, a lot of things can and do go wrong on rivers.
Well, we would not take the river the whole way, even though theoretically we could.
Right, so you're wanting to take the river down towards where would we get off the river? What's the plan? What would be your suggestion, my liege, for all of this?
So, I suppose to cover the most distance, the fastest, we'd go down, get on kind of where the Celebrant meets the Anduin, and we would go south, down the river, to the north Undeep, then the south Undeep, then we get off between the south Undeep and Emmenmuir, and then walk either, so essentially down and around the Falls of Raros, down and around the Falls of Raros, and then straight. We would want to be on the western side of the river to avoid the dead marshes and the bog and the dead marshes. And we'd go kind of on the west side of the river, kind of around the Emmenmuir, and then down on the west side of the river from Carandros to Osgiliath, and then to Minas Tirith.
And just because this is something that Wili would know, but me as Shammers doesn't, would we have brought boats with us?
No, because you've been on foot up to this point.
Right, so do you perchance know how to make a boat?
Is that... I wouldn't have suggested it if we were unable to provide them.
Okay, because at the moment, and would they perchance be able to take
mounts, steeds?
Yes, mounts and steeds and the like, because I'm rather attached to mine.
Oh yes, there's nothing
as
to
I'm
worry
sure
about
everyone Okay.
We will be bringing our own steeds as well, because once we disembark above the Falls of Rauros, there's really no...
Okay.
On foot isn't
I,
really an efficient option.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, by the way, you'll see how this is linked in just a moment, but do you perchance have anything that might help sedate a rather large, well-built mountain goat?
Why?
Topsy doesn't deal with water too well.
I
I
personally
believe
don't know of such a thing.
I believe it's something like the word in common might be the thalassophobia or something. I believe that's the term. They just don't like
Doesn't
open
like the
bodies.
water. Yeah.
Last time I took them we were a good 10 meters away from the lake, and they bucked me off and tried to run away. That was just looking at the damn thing. So
Okay. Well, I am no beast master. I don't normally keep animals. I am a... One might call me a burglar, but that's not entirely what I do.
That is absolutely fine. I'll see if I can find someone that'll. I'll see if I can find someone that might be able to help. That does generally sound like a good idea. It'll speed things up. It'll get us there a little quicker, and see, the quicker we get there, the better. So
yes, correct.
Yes, and if we are going to do this, the most efficient way to do it would be to sedate Topsy, right? Because they don't deal with the water particularly well. But
no, I completely understand. Other than that, are there any other sort of issues that you have with this plan?
No, I don't. You're willing to provide the boats, which we're very grateful for. Thank you. You're taking my concerns on board. Do you have any concerns that you'd like to? I don't have any concerns with the plan. I'd say that's a good one to go ahead with. You wouldn't have, do you happen to have any questions or concerns that you'd want answered or dealt with?
How many of your mounts would you say also have this reaction to water?
Not many. I believe Topsy's comes from one of their siblings kicking them into a river. So I don't see too many of them. No more than the average mount, of course. So there'll always be a little skittish on boats, but Topsy specifically just doesn't really deal with water too well.
Alright, well, we intend, then, I am assuming that because dwarves don't normally swim, and then it stands to reason that they probably don't sail very often.
No, there's not really that many places for us to sail under the mountain, to be honest. It's,
Okay. So, for every... It looks like you'll need maybe 2 or 3 boats for the amount of dwarves you have with you?
Quite likely, aye.
Okay. So then, for each boat, we will have 2 elven riverboat navigators with you on each one. So for 6 total. And then I will have a friend of mine look into the whole finding a way to sedate your animals thing.
Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, I'd best see if anyone has any ginger.
Oh, we have
Just in case.
we have stores.
Oh, phenomenal. I'm sure you know already how great ginger is for dealing with nausea and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. We're used to solid stone ground, so anything that gets a bit wobbly might cause a bit of extra. Yes, please forgive any nausea-related symptoms whilst we're sailing. It is not any insult to you or your navigator. More our
I don't believe it is.
constitution on water.
Fair enough. So to confirm, we have two options. We can where the glam blah 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 blah. Excuse me. Where the
Blah, blah, blah. Love
I can
you.
read, it's fine. Where the Glanduin connects to so essentially there are three rivers that sort of converge in this general area. We are standing close enough to one. It's a tributary to the Anduin. So we can either bring the boats here along the Nimrodel and sail down the Nimrodel to the Anduin, or your camp, all of your people, can move from where you are currently to the banks of the Anduin through our forest, and then we can board the boats there. Either one is acceptable.
Right. Might be easier to board them here.
Okay.
We'll get everything packed up and sorted, and we'll then just pack them onto boats, get the sailing bit out of the way, and then we'll make haste down to
Minas Tirith.
Minas Tirith. Thank you. I could not remember the name in second there. Aye, that seems like a right proper plan.
Okay. Alright. Do you think you can be ready by tomorrow?
I do not see why not. We are. I don't see why not. We'll get everything ready by tomorrow.
Alright. Well, sounds like a plan. Any supplies or anything, you don't need to worry about that. We'll make sure we have the supplies that we all need, not just the elves, not just our delegation, but also yours. So no need to worry about, don't have to go hunting or anything. Although there are plenty of, she kind of like looks down at it. She very much so looks like she's about to say the word boar. Right?
Yeah.
And then she kind of looks up and sees that there is a man riding on the back of a boar, who might not take very nicely to the fact that there are boars in the area, that she is pointing out that there are boars in the area that you can hunt. So she kind of puts the kibosh on that. And says, well, it doesn't matter because we will have supplies for you.
I'll make sure that's communicated. Thank you.
Alright. And then also please let Lord Dwalin know that well, obviously let him know about the plan, but also just let him know that Lord Celeborn wishes to speak with him at some point on the journey.
I will pass that. Is that the matter that you on the topic that you discussed at the gate? Is this a separate topic? I'm sure my lord would appreciate. Sure, my king would appreciate knowing the maybe not the finer details, but the topic about which your liege would like to speak to him.
The topic of Moria is being discussed with him presently. the topic my lord wishes to speak with him about is of what could be considered a personal to Lord Dwellin nature. It is simply whether or not his adopted daughter is due to become the Queen of Erebor, and the elves will soon be departing from these lands, and he wanted to make him an offer
Oh, okay. I will
regarding
be sure to.
what might happen to the elven lands.
That is very generous. I will be sure to pass that. I'll be sure to pass that on as well.
Yes. Well, with that, the route has been decided. We will leave tomorrow at dawn, if that is acceptable.
That is acceptable. I'll make sure that we're all ready, packed and ready to go.
Excellent. And with that, this is the woman you were talking to, is the one who's dressed in all black from head to toe. And you can't really see anything other than her eyes, but she puts her hand over her heart, and she bows at the waist, and then excuses herself from the tent.
He will bow as she leaves as a thank you, and before making his way out and waiting for his lordship to be finished speaking.
All right. Can you please roll me an awareness check again? Please.
Let's see. Awareness. Right, so. That is 6, 7, 8 on the d12. And that is 9, so 8 plus 9.
17.
17, yes. And that is 5 above, or 4 above, where my target number is.
Okay. Not long after you start standing where you are waiting for him, you hear shouting.
Oh, well, this
and-
might be a good place to take a very short break. So, cliffhanger, because I need a pee. So,
Okay. All right.
I'm
Sounds
sorry.
good.
So let's leave that on a cliffhanger. We hear shouting. Ooh. So, we will be back in a few minutes, guys. Thank you very much for sticking around. We'll be back very, very soon. I do apologize.
Okay, bye. Be right back.
Oh,
Alright. And we're back.
welcome back.
Alright.
Welcome back, everyone.
I should
Cyber's
probably not
super impressed
be
with my
chewing
Scottish
on a
accent, I
chip.
can tell already.
Where were we? Oh, I am loving it, mate. I'm loving life. I'm pretty sure I've met this dude. I'm telling you.
Fair.
Okay.
That's fair. So, where did we leave off? I believe there was shouting.
There was shouting. Lots of shouting. Dwarven shouting. Let it be known. So you can only assume you know exactly who that is. And before long, you see coming out of the tent behind you, Dwalin throws the flaps open and is just storming away. By the time your eyes track where he is going, he is halfway up the stairs to the eastern gate of Moria. And it does not seem like anything will stop him from going there, except maybe his own self if he loses his courage, loses the nerve. The elves kind of follow after him, and one of them rests his hand on your shoulder and says, follow him if you wish, but be careful. His axes, which had been up until that point leaning against the table in his tent, are no longer leaning against the table in his tent, which means that it's safe for you to assume that he brought them with him for a purpose of some kind that is not peaceful. And so as your eyes kind of follow him, you see the axes in his hands, and then you see him just starting to swing for and at different things.
By my beard. Fine. Okay. Topsy, stay out here. Go find something for yourself to eat. I'll be back out soon, I promise. Surely as Mithril endures, so too shall this tale be remembered. And he'll get his things, get his weapons ready, and we'll go help them try and break down the door.
Yeah. But as you kind of walk up behind him, it's not the door that he's aiming at. It's actually the you kind of look down at the foot of a statue, one of the statues of one of the Durans. There was put a sort of, I guess, memorial of sorts. And when you look behind you, the elven woman who had just vacated the tent alongside the one that was heavily armored, is kind of sadly watching this exchange occur. When Dwalin found out about his brother, there was a level of like peace and understanding to it. That was, for him, like, it didn't hurt as much because his brother was old, right? But like this is a thing that like really has sort of set him off in a way that like wasn't expected. And that he's kind of going at this sort of memorial type thing that was left there. Nothing he's doing to it is really hurting it, but like if you get closer and study it a little bit, maybe between him taking swings at it, you'll see that there are names on it. And that one of those names above all of the other ones might have sent him into a rage that was not his brother. If that makes sense.
Let's see if he could. I'd like to see if I can see the names on this that would help potentially with this.
Yeah.
Help me potentially understand a little better.
Right.
So I don't think talking to him at the moment is really going to help. So.
Can you roll a lore check for me?
Yep, that is fine. So I get advantage on the D12.
Mm-hmm.
So let's roll 1. That's a 7. Oh god. So I rolled an 11.
Oh no.
Which I believe is the first critical failure of the campaign.
Nope.
But
So I forgot one earlier.
Nope, beat you to it. It's all good.
Cool,
You
so
don't need to worry, mate. I'm right here for you. Don't.
I'm going to see what I can get anyway, but so that would have been 18. But I did get an 11. 18 total, but I did get an 11 as the higher of the two rolls on my law.
Okay. So, as you were trying to study the tablet that is being assailed by this very capable man-at-arms, there are names, that, like, were important to him. So there's Balin, obviously, and then Ori, and then Oin, right? Like, these members of the company that were important to him for that reason, right?
Mm.
But again, like, they were old, right? So, like, you understood that, like, Dwalin had said in places that you had heard him that, like, those people dying didn't matter as much. Like, it mattered, it hurt, but it didn't hurt as much because, like, they had lived, right? And they'd accomplished so much. But on this list of names, there's only one name that you know for certain was a woman's name. And that name, you can't really see it, but you kind of realize that, like, oh, that is the name that he's upset about. Or you can infer, maybe, that is the name that he's upset about. It was a woman. Okay, 8, 12, 13, 14. And on a 20, he kind of is wailing on this thing right where that name is. Like, all of the names above it, Balin, Ori, Dori, all of these other names, all of these other adventurers who had gone to Moria. But the only one he's really worried about interfering with, almost as if he's in denial about something, is that name. And you can't really read it because he keeps taking chips out of it. But from what you could read, it was a distinctly female name. And it was the only distinctly female name on the list, on the tablet. Oop, hello?
My Durin, my king. Maybe we should, why don't we go and spar for a while? We'll get one of the stone carvers to take this name from this memorial, if it is upsetting you so.
There are no words that come out of this man's mouth as he utterly just, like, it's almost like he can't even hear you. Not at first, anyway. And as this outburst continues, the elves kind of come up behind you, and one of them motions for you to come over to him. And sort of silently, like, waits until you're a respectable distance away to begin speaking so as not to, like, make it worse.
So was this one of the elves that I was talking to, or one of the elves that Wili was talking to?
One of the ones that he was talking to. So one of the ones that Dwalin was talking to. And he kind of...
By Durin's beard, what did you tell him? Never seen him this angry.
We were given possession of a book from within Moria by one Gimli, son of Gloin. The Fellowship of the Ring, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I only know what my lady has told me, which is not much. But the Fellowship of the Ring, the group that was, tasked with destroying the One Ring, passed through Moria and discovered some disturbing news. That obviously that the company, the expedition of Balin, son of Fundin, failed, and all of the dwarves were killed.
Hey.
We found a book was found within one of the chambers of Moria. I believe Gimli referred to it as the Chamber of Marzarbul. There was found a tomb that belonged to Balin, son of Fundin, and also the body of one Ori, son of Tori, who had in his hands a book that had kind of outlined the expedition. And one of the members who passed away or was killed by the Watcher in the Water was an individual that when we sent word to Erebor, identified as a woman that Lord Balin was very close to. He was not aware of the fact that she had ventured to Moria alongside his brother, and he was very mad, and he at first believed us to be lying, and now I believe his anger stems not from the perceived lack of honesty, but from the torrent of grief that news has caused him. I don't know other than that. We were only communicating what Lord Gimli asked us to communicate. Was not expecting. Yes.
I appreciate you bringing the news. Thank you. That is, do not worry. You're not in any... You have not earned any ill repute with us, and you will not be seen... Yes, it is not a reflection on yourselves, his reaction. I can promise you that. And it will not affect any future friendship that we would like to continue with yourselves. It is... Yes, no, and you're not in any danger from his outburst either. Do not worry. He has never been and will never be the type to harm a messenger. So do not worry. I will do my best to try and direct his... Not that it is at you, regardless, as you said, it is likely more out of grief than any perceived slight or perceived lack of truth. That you've just come bearing a message from the illustrious Gimli, son of Gloin. So we appreciate that. Thank you. must not have been an easy conversation to have with him.
And
Yes, I'll
he
see what I can do. Sorry.
he has been presented with the book that was with Ori. He has said that he will make an effort to ensure that it is entrusted to the king of Durin's folk, be that Dane Ironfoot or Thorin Stonehelm. But I had no thought that saying what I said would impact him in that way, and we believed that it might be
You
right
acted
to honor
accordingly
them.
based on the knowledge that you had. We cannot begrudge you that. Please feel free to stick around, grab a beer. We've got some good quality dwarven beers with us. Share a drink with some of the folk around here. There are some kind folk around these parts. Feel free to rest and recuperate and take part. I will try and help.
Sorry, my journey home is not far. We must gather supplies for our journey if we are to begin tomorrow by sunrise. I don't think I'll be getting much rest at all, but thank you for the offer. We will do our best to make sure that you all have what you need for the journey by water. And once we do that, maybe I'll get some rest. Maybe I'll come back once your lord is less lethal.
Aye. Well, you're always welcome. And I can promise you the next time, if and when you do take up that invitation, I can promise you our king will be a lot more amenable, let's say.
Is this? Yes, I hope so. It was not my intention to cause...
Oh, no, it's fine. This is not the norm. As I said, I've known him for many, many years. And aside from on the battlefield, I've never seen him this angry. So, this is absolutely the exception and not the rule. I can assure you he will be a much more gracious host the next time you cross paths with us. Yes, I shan't keep you for too long. You need to get ready. I need to calm King Dwalin down. I need to get ready myself. I need to see if I can find some people to help me carry my mount onto these bloody boats. Jesus, that's going to take at least 3 or 4 dwarves. Right,
Okay.
Yes, thank you for that, and I will, hopefully, I will get another chance to, hopefully we will share a beer. Yes, but let us make haste. We have plenty of plans to enact.
Yes, sir. I would say Lord Dwalin might just need some time to decompress. There was a lot being said, and the information about her was just part of it.
All right.
Again,
I will try and organize the camp whilst he's predisposed.
Okay.
I'll discuss it with him later.
That is appreciated. As the night sort of continues, she bows her head, hand over heart, bows her head, takes her leave. She has, she definitely feels bad. And it's not hard to tell that she feels bad, but she feels bad.
Yes.
And
we will.
As she takes the time, as she departs, a number of dwarves sort of approach you, asking for instructions, all wondering, when are we leaving, how are we leaving, all that stuff.
Yes, and he is absolutely going to get the camp as organised as he can, given the king's predicament.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll also mention, do not, under any circumstances, approach the king until at least tomorrow morning. Let's get this all sorted.
Yeah. And eventually, the guards, like the late night guards, will report in the morning that Dwalin returned to his tent at around, right before everyone else was, starting to get ready for the day. He kind of just took a moment and went back to his tent and got himself cleaned up. He was awake for all the night. And those who were, taking the night watches, if asked about it, said that eventually he gave up on just banging the shit out of this rock with his axes, and eventually he just kind of sat down and he pulled a whetstone out of his pocket and just sharpened them for hours. Like, you don't even know if it helped at that point. It helped him. You have no idea whether or not it helped the blades, but it calmed him down enough that as the sun rises and the elven ships arrive and things are being loaded onto boats and mounts are being sedated, there were some elven individuals who figured out a way to get him on board the boat before they sedated him so that it didn't require a lot of, heavy lifting.
It would have been hell on earth to get Topsy on that bloody boat. It would have been a lot of butting. Might have accidentally butted one or two dwarves into the actual river. Lots of just stubborn, no, fuck this, I'm not getting on this shitting boat. You're not gonna fucking make me kind of energy, but it will.
They figured it out. And if they got injured, it was on them. They never blamed anybody. They were just like, we got him on here. That's what matters. And as they sort of get him situated, they give you instructions on, like, it'll wear off in a few hours. Here's how you give him more. If he wakes up, it's going to be really, really bad. So make sure that you're doing it appropriately and at the right times, yada, yada, yada. All those things aside, you all sort of begin your journey. Dwalin has retreated into one of the sort of cabins on the boat that he's on, which is the same one as you. Trusting the elves to sort of like navigate. And over the course of the day, you get from the top of the Nimrodel to the point of connection with the Anduin, and you travel and you keep going. And then at the beginning of the second day, you get like right here. And then at the end of the second day, you're here and you kind of unload. So you're not on the river anymore. Some of the elves have stayed on the river, not all of them. But some of them have, just to kind of get the boat kind of further south, so that if they need to travel a different way, they can do that. And as you sort of make your way, Dwalin sort of, he recovers a little bit from the outburst, but he's definitely outwardly grieving in a way that you had not seen from him before.
Yes, he will offer to spar with him as much as he can to try and help take his mind off it. As much as his...
he doesn't really accept because he's afraid that he's going to hurt you. So he's doing his best to, like, be a good leader and try not to take out his sadness on you because you don't deserve that. But if you ask him, like, what happened, he will answer.
Hey, he does. He'll sort of, when there's a bit more of a private moment, he'll pull him aside and what exactly happened back there? Is there any other way I can help?
Um, he sits you down and he explains that the woman that they had mentioned was one of his wards that he had taken in, similar to how he had taken in Dagnira, who is going to marry the new king of Erebor, Thornstonehelm. And he took her in as a ward after her parents had been killed in a mining accident. And she was always very close to her uncle, and when Dwalin had gone to the Blue Mountains, neither of them followed, so Dagnira stayed behind, and Thati stayed behind, that was her name. And she was given the opportunity to join the expedition with Balin, and she said yes, and obviously we know how that ended. So he was just very kind of sad about that, because he had never stopped to question why, like, she hadn't heard from him, or like he hadn't heard from her, or like whatever. He just like assumed that she was off doing her own thing, but he didn't know that doing her own thing was getting killed in Moria. So it was just a really kind of like big emotional moment for him, because he obviously very much so cared about her as a person. And unlike, you know, Ori and Balin and Oin, she was not old. You know, she hadn't lived a full life, and she hadn't done all of those things that she said she wanted to do before the chance to do them was taken away from her. So he was just like big sad about that, obviously, and tried really hard to not let it show, but at the same time, like, what do you do? What else is there? Especially because, like, he didn't even know she was there, right? Like, there's a difference between like knowing someone is doing a thing that is dangerous and wishing them the best, and between not knowing and then finding out they're dead. Like, that's bad. And he does apologize for like being rude and not kind about it. But like, he's just devastated by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, understandable. He'll nod and go, right, if there's anything I can do to, I know you'll need time to process yourself, and this isn't something that is the easiest, but just know, much like leadership, you know, you don't have to do this alone. I'm always happy to, if there's anything I can do to help, either to help you process things or help take your mind off things, then let me know.
He nods. He doesn't really have the words for it other than to just say thank you and sort of move on. But as you kind of travel, it's been 2 days, then 3 days, then 4 days, and about 5 days after that, like, the delegation from Lothlorien camps outside of the city. You are invited also as delegations of the dwarves. The King of Durin's folk was given allotted space in Minas Tirith to rest, and the dwarves are welcome to join him there, but the elves prefer not to for the moment.
Oh yeah, a beautiful city it is. Stonework's a bit shoddy here and there, but
The stonework is shoddy, he says, after they just survived a war that was entirely siege-based. Wow! Wow! Wow!
hey, I think maybe we should offer some dwarven stonecrafters to come and help rebuild a little bit.
Oh,
Wow.
Jesus.
This is something he's just like muttering to himself when there's nobody listening, rather than.
Please, for the love of God, let somebody be listening.
You know what?
Let somebody...
Roll me an awareness. Nope, roll me a scan check.
Okay. Oh, my. Alright, so just to scan is something. Okay, so that's got the advantage thing because of the extra tech. So I got a 9, and I got 3 that I got to roll. So I got 19, and my target number for wits is 16. So I got the yeah, I beat the number for that.
Hey, you know who's listening?
Who's listening?
Farin is listening. So, how does Farin react when he hears this, Cyber?
He'll just walk up, quite the thing, and just I don't know if that was meant to be out loud, but stonework tends to it tends to degrade somewhat when you've been bombed the shit out of.
Oi, hey, it does. You're right. Oh, that's a very valid point.
Wow.
Potential. Some dwarven stoneworkers might be a nice wedding gift.
And
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
both.
a good thing I'm not. It's a good thing I'm not planning that shit.
I wouldn't go around mentioning it as a wedding present for a while. Might be a bit too soon, you know.
Maybe yeah, just a little bit.
You all. So you guys. I didn't pull up a map of Minas Tirith, sorry, but as you kind of as you are in the first level of Minas Tirith. So what that means is that Minas Tirith is a tiered city, and it has 7 levels, from the very bottom to the very top. And as you kind of look up from where you're standing, you see this sort of pointed structure that, like, splits all of the tiers of Minas Tirith. And that is the Citadel. So the very, very top of the city is the Citadel. You are in the very first level of the city. I will provide a map for this next time, I promise. And as you sort of look around, I'm about to cliffhanger your asses. Be prepared. You see, sort of in a form that, like, you've not seen a person before, just finely dressed in vestments with a crown on his head, just the most striking looking individual you've ever seen. And you can only assume, just by looking at him, that this is
His Gimli.
the King of Gondor, actually, approaching you and the groups that you have recently just arrived with.
Shite.
Well, that's it for today, because it's been 2.5 hours, and I know you've all got to sleep, but I don't, so...
Fuck you and your time zones.
Listen here. I didn't choose this. If I had it my way, I'd live where you live. No problem, okay? But we're gonna bounce back here. How are we feeling? How are we feeling, buddies?
I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that a lot, although I can't believe I've been downgraded to a buddy.
Oh
Yes, I'm so sorry, boyfriend. How did you feel about that? What?
So much better, thank you so much.
What? Should I just call you that all the time now? What the fuck?
No, what you need to call him at all times now is all buddy, all pal. Like, that's what it needs to.
Hey pal, how's it going? How's it going?
How going?
Oh no, what have I created?
A problem, but what else is new?
Yeah.
Well, we will see you back here. If it helps, I called Ben mate earlier. It does help.
To be fair, she only calls me that when I've done something stupid, which is surprisingly frequently.
Surprising? You're surprised?
To everyone. No, surprising to me and me only.
I was about to say surprising. That's interesting choice of word.
Well, I was surprised.
It's not a hate crime, Michael. Well, I hated it.
Very much.
That's the vibe you just gave off.
I am so happy that is the vibe I give off. That is fucking great.
It's not a hate crime, Michael. Well, I hated it.
Well, I hated it. Oh, The Office is great. UK one's better. Anyway,
we can agree to disagree on that one thing. But that's fine. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is really, really exciting. Next session, next time we play the One Ring, we're actually going to be getting into the nitty-gritty. Everyone's together in a place, and they're going to have some conversations with some fun and interesting people, and maybe, hopefully not, be derogatory about stonework that was destroyed by siege warfare in public, but we'll see.
But isn't that half the fun?
Listen, I don't want your first combat to be you picking a fight with some guy who survived the War of the Ring. Okay.
Well, you know what? I do. So.
Well, you know what? Fine.
I'm gonna punch a veteran.
In fairness,
Where's Farin
Wili's,
there?
Wili's flaw is being haughty. So that is his flaw. He is a bit haughty sometimes. So,
But I mean, in terms of like of slights, I did describe Lord Gimli as that one pal that was wild back in his day, having kids. So like that's
It's crazy.
So I think if anyone's going to be in bother,
regardless, what if I just new dating strategy? I just call you buddy whenever you do something that drives me up a tree, and then that will be your way of knowing that you've done something that drives me up a tree.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy. Buddy.
Given that that's what Han calls Othello when he's done something a bit stupid.
oh buddy.
The amount of times I've heard her go, "Oh, buddy, why did you do that? Oh, buddy."
Yeah.
The problem is, you guys can say that word and it sounds fine, but because of my voice, if I say that in a cutesy voice, I just sound like Grog Strongjaw.
Say
So
it.
it's
Say
not-
it right now.
Buddy.
Hi, buddy. Buddy. I love Grog
My best-
Strongjaw.
My best buddy Pike.
Like, Grog.
I like Grog. Grog's my favourite.
My favorite.
Gregory Strongjaw.
Gregory Strongjaw. Oh, he's so Travis's reaction to that live is my favorite thing in the world. He's so distinguished. And everyone else is just
Groggy
like,
and Porky sitting in a tree. F-A-L-L-I and fuck!
all right. Well, my illustrious friends, we will see you tomorrow where we will be playing Among Us as a community.
Yes, we have a wonderful community event tomorrow, so be sure to join in.
If you want to be a
chaos,
part,
we'll be playing a little bit of hide and seek, a little bit of vanilla Among Us, and we
Yeah.
should try to figure out which one of us is being a backstabbing bastard.
Kira
Spoiler
usually.
alert, it's probably Shammers.
He's not even gonna be there,
I
because he's
don't
got
care.
things to do.
I don't care. I'm still going to vote him somehow. I'll find a way.
I will just enter the game as totally Shammers, and then you can vote for me.
Tune.
I never thought that it'd be so simple, but
All right, we're gonna see you all
We're
tomorrow.
going to go home.
Probably the grumpy old men are gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna go get food. Make good choices. Be a leader. Don't do anything I wouldn't do more than once. If you do, take pictures. Don't end up in the hospital, newspaper, jail. But if you do end up in jail, establish dominance quickly. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.